After a glorious summer for the Italians, of course, focus now switches back to the domestic game with the launch of the brand new squeaky clean Serie A season, and we're going to be there from the kickoff all the way through to the final whistle. We got the latest round of picks coming at you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. We look forward to match number 1 in the 2021-2022 Serie A campaign, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe and hit your banger today. All things Serie A related, Euro 2020 Champions related, Blackburn Rovers related, of course. All here under one rooski, of course. Yes, that's right, of course. Who are they? Internazionale, of course, are the defending champions. Of course, going to hope to try and defend the title up against maybe a revamped Juventus, maybe a revamped Lazio, and of course, or maybe even sneaky beaky AC Milan, of course. But there's been a managerial merry-go-round, of course, around Italy, of course. So the chances are we could have a new name back on the title. But anyway, we'll have a look at all of that over the course of the season. Again, if you're new, smash your subscribe. Check out the links down below. And of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They're the Patreons. Thank you very, very much. So let's get going then and have a little look preview of the season. Of course, take a little look at the teams that make up the campaign for this coming season. So here they are coming at you. Test my knowledge here. Atalanta. We've got Bologna, Cagliari, Empoli. We've got Fiorentina, Genoa, Verona are in there. Internazionale, I should update that. They've got a new badge. Who else do we have? Juventus, of course, Lazio, AC Milan here in the thick of things. Napoli there, Roma. Who are these bad boys? They are Salernitana. That's a new one for me. Of course, cool little badge there of a seahorse. Then we've got my boys Sampdoria. Sassuolo down the left-hand side there. Spezia made it, of course, for a second season. Torino, Udinese, and Venezia. That's right, of course, those are the 20 teams that make up this campaign. And of course, a lot of new managers going around. I think Juventus got a new manager. We've got Internazionale with a new manager. Roma, of course, with the Mourinho effect. And of course, that's going to play its hand in, of course, the outcome of the season. So anyway, let's take a look at, of course, how it all panned out last time around. Internazionale were your winners by a comfortable margin. Of course, it was a Milan double at the top of the table there, with AC coming in second, ahead of Atalanta. And of course, Juventus held on for Champions League football, held on to Ronaldo. Of course, it could have been a similar sort of drama to that over in La Liga, where, of course, Messi has now moved on to pastures new. Juventus, though, keep hold of Ronaldo for the time being anyway. Down the foot of the table, though, we did lose Parma, we did lose Crotone, we did lose Benevento, who also had a really good badge. Torino held on, and it looks like they held on to Belotti as well. So that's a major plus for them. But anyway, let's get cracking then. Of course, let's take a little look at the Prediction League. We have a brand new squeaky clean Prediction League for this one. If you want to get involved, it's completely free to enter. Go down the bottom there to the link, cut/Serie A, something along those lines anyway. If you're savvy with your camera phone, take a picture of the QR code and it'll shoot you straight there. What I do ask for you, and I'm going to say this across the spectrum, across all the prediction leagues, make sure you use the name, exactly the same name, week in, week out. Don't change it, don't add an extra space. Some people do it subconsciously, some people add a capital, take away a capital, whatever it is. Keep your name as it is. Because otherwise it's going to cause me problems, and then otherwise if I get caused problems, you're going to get caused problems. So anyway, let's get the deep end then, shall we take a look at match number 1. I've kicked it all off with game 1, which will be over on the weekend of August the 21st. So let's kick it all off then, shall we, with Hellas Verona taking on Sassuolo. This match does take place on the 21st of August, which is a Saturday. These two sides played 20 times, according to my knowledge, over the course of time. 10 wins for Sassuolo, 7 wins for Hellas Verona, and 3 draws. The biggest win for either two sides was a 2-0 win. And last time I played each other in Verona was a 2-0 win for Sassuolo back on, what we got here, November 2020 it was. Of course, heading into this, of course, pre-season and all that kind of stuff. Coppa Italia has kicked off. In fact, Verona did kick off with a 3-0 win over Catanzaro. Prior to that, there's some friendlies against Sampdoria, I believe, and Modena, Virtus, Verona. And they came out of that they didn't come out of it, but 1-1 lost, 1 drew 1. As for their opposition, Sassuolo, they did play Lazio in a friendly. They drew that. They beat Parma in a friendly, and they also drew with Sassuolo, Bolton, whoever they may be. Of course, the bookies odds on this one. What do we have on this? We have Verona at 90-10 for the victory, 94 draw. 29-20 is your away win. That is Sassuolo. It is very tough to call this one. Fine margins on this. I'm going with a draw. Of course, I do like Sassuolo. Verona, though, can be difficult to beat. Anyways, kicking off further, though, it is Internazionale taking on Genoa. Genoa, what I mean, brother, that's right. Of course, played each other 35 times since 1993. 22 wins for Internazionale, 8 wins for Genoa, and there's been 5 draws. Of course, Internazionale now managed by Simone Simone Inzaghi. Of course, Genoa got Davide Belladini in between the dugout. Of course, the biggest win for Internazionale over Genoa was a 5-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 2-0 win. Last time they played each other in Milan was a 3-0 win for Internazionale. That's back in February 2021. Heading into this, of course, Internazionale playing the likes of Dan Riccia, Parma, Crotone, and Lugano. They won each and every one of those games quite convincing as well. Defensive, very, very sound, of course. Heading into this one, the Genoa, they have beaten Peragua out in the Coppa Italia around the 64. They did play Mainz. They lost that. They did beat Wacker Innsbruck 2 over in Austria, I believe. So, yeah, it's okay pre-season for them. But what's going to happen, of course, when they lock horns here? Of course, because 3-1 on is Internazionale, 70-4 is your draw, 9-1 is your long shots. That's Genoa. Of course, Internazionale have lost Lukaku, and of course they've lost Conte as well, their dugout. But I still think they'll win this one. Opening day, 2-0 win, and again move the chains. Opening day. Next, of course, Empoli taking on Lazio. That's right. Empoli return to the top flight, and they played these two sides play each other 24 times since 1997. 15 wins for Lazio, 4 wins for Empoli, and 5 draws. Maurizio Sarri is your governor over at Lazio. He's a new face in the dugout for them. The last time they played each other, okay, in fact, the biggest win for Empoli over Lazio was a 1-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 4-0 win. Heading into this last time they played each other in Empoli was a 1-0 win for Lazio back in 2018. That was around about September time. Lazio's pre-season has included the likes of Palestina, Padova, Enschede, Sassuolo. They did not lose any one of those games. However, they picked up a couple of draws and they weren't really convincing in my eyes. As for Empoli, they come to us on the back of a Coppa Italia match against Vicenza, and they came through 4-2 goals galore in this one. They did beat Pontera, Lecce. They did beat Pontera in the pre-season. That was the only game. 3-0 win for them. As for the bookies odds, we have Empoli 7-2 for the Ricci 11-4 draw, 4-3 on is your Lazio. Under Sarri. Sarri ball's back. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for Lazio. Not big, not impressive, but just enough to get over the line. Kicking off further is Torino up against Atalanta, of course. Atalanta, Champions League contenders, in the mix anyway. They play each other, these two sides, 40 times since 1993, 30 wins for Torino, 50 wins for Atalanta, 12 draws. Ivan Juric is your manager for Torino. Gianpier Gasperini is your manager for Atalanta. Play each other. The biggest win for Torino over Atalanta was a 5-1 win. The biggest win the other way was a 7-0 win. Goodness gracious me. Last time they played each other in Torino was a 4-2 win for Atalanta in Torino back in September 2020. Of course, Atalanta came into this playing Juventus. They lost that in a friendly. They did play Alessandria 7-1. They did beat that one. And of course, they did lose to West Ham in a friendly and also beat Ponderone. That's Atalanta's pre-season. As for Torino, they did played Al Fateh. They drew with that one. Played Staren from France. They lost that one. Played AZ Alkmaar. Lost that one. And they did play Cremonese in the Coppa Italia around the 64. And they did win that one 4-1. Bookies odds 92 for Torino. 22-11 on is your Atalanta. Red hot favourites, and 10-3 is your draw. Red hot favourites indeed. That's where my money's going to, with a 2-1 win for Atalanta. Kicking off into Sunday now. We've got Bologna up against Salernitana. Of course, none of the new boys played each other just twice since 1998. 1 win for Salernitana, and of course 1 draw. That one and only win for Salernitana was a 4-0 win, and that 4-0 win was recorded in Serie A when Salernitana hosted Bologna back in 1999. That's like played each other at Bologna was a 1-1 draw. Heading into this, of course, Bologna picking up a couple of friendlies against Spezia and Ponderone, both home and away, picking up wins over those, but they did lose to Dortmund in a friendly over in the yellow and black, wherever their stadium, wherever it is. As the Weststadion or something like that, Westfalenstadion. There we go. As for Salernitana, they did lose to Aston Villa in a friendly, lost to Gubo as well, and they did beat San Benedetto on a friendly 3-2 win way back when in the middle of July. Look at the bookies odds on this one. We have a 6-4 on is your Bologna red hot favourites, 3-1 is your 15-4 is your away win on a Salernitana. I am actually going with a draw on this one. I don't know what to expect from Salernitana, and Bologna are a bit ropey-dopey as well, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen on that one. Next up though, we have Udinese up against Juventus, of course, with Massimiliano Allegri now back at the helm, of course, for Juventus. Luca Gotti is your governor over at Udinese. Played each other 53 times since 1994. 9 wins for Udinese, 37 wins for Juventus, and 7 draws. The biggest win for Udinese over Juventus was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 4-0 win. They played each other, well, they've been 7 draws as well. The last time they played each other though at Udinese was a 2-win for Juventus back in May 2021 under prior management, of course. Heading into this, of course, Udinese did play Ascoli in the round of 64 in the Coppa Italia. They won 3-1. Prior to that, they did play Lens and Sturm Graz in friendlies, and they lost both of them. As for Juventus, they beat Atalanta in a friendly, played Barcelona and lost. Played Monza and won, and beat Cesena as well. 3-1 win. So a hot and cold sort of pre-season for them. Losing Barcelona is probably the down point. 6-4 on is your Bologna. 5-1 on. Or 5-1 is your Udinese. 65 is your Juventus. Oh goodness gracious me. It is 5-1 is your Udinese. 60-5 is your draw, and 50-8 on is your Juventus. They are red hot favourites away from home with Allegri at charge. I am going to go with the Juventus. I'm big on this one. 3-0 win. In the end, kicking off further though, we have Napoli up against Venezia. that's right, another new boy, that's right. Played each other 4 times since 2002. 1 win for Venezia, 3 draws and 0 wins for Napoli. Napoli, of course, managed by Luciano Spalletti. Venezia managed by Paolo Zanetti as well. Wow, wee wow. Heading in, I don't think it's that Paolo Zanetti. Anyway, they blasted played each other, of course, in Napoli. In Naples was a 1-1 draw back in Serie B back in 2004. It's been a while. Heading into this, of course, Napoli played Ascoli, Wisła Krakow, Bayern, and Pro Vescelli, and they won every one of the friendlies. So, of course, a bit of positivity heading into this opening day of the season. As for Venezia, they did lose to, they did beat Frosinone over in the Coppa Italia around the 64. Prior to that, they drew with Groningen. They beat Enschede and they beat Utrecht in the Dutch tour, it looks like. As for the bookies odds on this one, we have Napoli 7-2 on for the victory, 92 is draw, 91 is your long shots. That is Venezia, that's right. I'm going to go with Napoli with Spalletti at the helm. A 2-0 win to opening day, and of course, not too shabby. Next, of course, we have Roma up against Fiorentina. Probably one of the games of the weekend, I would say. Of course, Mourinho's debut as manager of Roma, Vincenzo Italiano, with a cool name over at Fiorentina. Played the 58 times since 1994, 33 wins for Mourinho, 11 wins for Fiorentina, and 14 draws. The biggest win for Roma over Fiorentina was a 4-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 7-1 win. Last time I played at Roma was a 2-0 win for Roma back in November 2020. Heading into this, though, Roma have been in action a lot of pre-season. They take on Defracini, 5-2 win. Played Porto, they drew 1-1. Took on Sevilla, they drew 0-0. They took on Belenenses Lisbon, they won 3-1. They did lose to Real Betis 5-2 in an action-packed game there. Followed up with a win against Raja Casablanca, a 5-0 win as well, to end their pre-season with a bit of a zing. As for Fiorentina, of course, another pre-season that's very, very strong. They took on some teams, SV Osterbunchen, they won 7-1 there. They took on Leverkusen Godeme and won 9-0 there. They took on Virtus Verona, won 4-0 there. Beat Espanyol 4-2, I think maybe after penalties, and then also took on Crotone in the Coppa Italia 64, and then won that comfortably 4-0. Bookies odds though on this one, 11-8 on is your Roma, 11-4 is your draw, 7-2 is your away win. That's ACF Fiorentina. Cagliari, though, taking on a Spezia, of course, into the a Monday night fixtures on this one. Let's take a closer look at this one then, shall we? Of course, Cagliari managed by Leonardo Sempellicini, Spezia managed by Thiago Motta, of course. Wow, we were played each other 5 times in 2012, 2 wins apiece, and 1 draw. The biggest win for Cagliari over Spezia was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 2-1 win. Last time I played each other at Cagliari was a 2-2 draw back in November 2020. Heading into this, Cagliari did play Pizza in the round of 64 in the Coppa Italia, and they won 3-1 win. They also played Mallorca, lost that one. Obia, they beat them, of course, and took on Augsburg, and they lost that one as well. As for Spezia, they did play Pordenone also in the Coppa Italia, and they won. They did play Roma, and they drew that one. In fact, that's back end of the last season. Doesn't really matter about that. Heading into this one, though, we have even Stevens for Cagliari, 23-10 is draw, 40-5 is your way win. That is Spezia. For me, though, I am going to go with a 1-0 win for Cagliari at home. Spezia could be in trouble this season, and I think they're going to start off with a whomper. Then finally, it is Sampdoria, my boys, up against AC Milan. My tip for the title, maybe. I don't know. I think Juventus is probably going to be my favourites. Heading into this, to play each other 51 times since 1993. 12 wins for Sampdoria, 29 wins for AC Milan, 10 draws. The biggest win for Sampdoria. AC Milan was a 3-0 win. The biggest win the other way was a 5-0 win. Last time I played each other in Sampdoria was a 2-1 win for Milan back in December 2020. Heading into this, of course, Sampdoria did take on Hellas Verona in a friendly. They won. They also beat Piacentina as well, 2-0. As for AC Milan, they took on Panathinaikos, won that one. They drew with Real Madrid, lost to Valencia on penalties, beat Nice, or drew with Nice, very nice there, and I've also took on Modena and they won 5-0. So hot and cold kind of pre-season, but then 4-1 on, scrap that. 16-5 is your home win. That's Sampdoria. 13-5 is your 2017 on is your AC Milan on this. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for AC Milan. My boys will start with the defeat, but they'll bounce back in pretty good shape for the next one. That's what I've got. Be sure to give me your own picks, of course, using the old link right here, cut.me/Serie A number 1. That's right. You can use the QR code if you're savvy, just like me, but also be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check out the little link as well, hit the little bell. I'm also on Discord, Twitch, Facebook, all that stuff. You can connect with me for free, but if you want to go that extra punch, you could become a patron and join the channel and support it another way. But that's the best of that. Until then, give the video some love. I'll see you soon for the next one. Of course, Serie A is back. Euro 2020 champions. Can they flex the muscles domestically? We'll have a look at all of that throughout the season. But until then, we are done.